Joined by head coach Dave Dunn of the Catholic University football team. They were picked number 7 in this year's preseason poll. Coach, let's do a general overview of the Cardinals this year coming into preseason, and give me a state of the Cardinals.
Well, we graduated a lot from last year. We actually right now, I know we graduated 7 guys who were the first or second team all conference. So, we're going to have a lot of competition in camp to replace some key people for us. We're going to be one of the younger teams we've ever had at Catholic. So our future looks good in that regard. We're just going to have to figure out in the next 3 weeks before we start the opener against McDaniel who's going to be playing for us.
When we take a look at your squad, let's start on the defensive side where you've got some experience coming back. You got 5 starters coming through with Caniglia and Barton on the line and 3 of your defensive backs. Talk a little bit about what it means to have almost a full unit like that back, but then also to have a line where you've got 2 guys up there that can teach the other 2 guys that you've got coming in to replace.
We're excited about our secondary with Richard Roach and R.J. Allison and Pat Thomas all returning. They've all started at least 2+ years each. So they're going to be the strength of our defense, and we're excited in that regard. Andrew Barton at nose guard started every game as a freshman for us last year, so it's really good to be strong in the middle. And then Vinny Caniglia playing on the outside for us did a great job, and we're excited for him to come back for this year as well. And hopefully we have enough back on defense and experience that they can help incorporate the younger guys and get them ready to go right from the get-go when we start in a few weeks and next week.
One of the units there we didn't talk about was your linebacking core, but over the years you've been able to generate some really nice linebackers. Last year being Connor Stuckler is a name that sticks out actually for the last several years being an all-conference linebacker. Who do you see stepping into that role this year that could really become a name on the Catholic defense?
I think Joe Pedreas and Ross Sanford are probably the 2 best candidates right now for inside linebacker. We were pretty lucky. We graduated as good linebackers 4 years ago, and Connor stepped in and did a great job and was a 4-year starter. So these guys played a little bit last year as backup and played a lot on special teams. So hopefully those 2 guys can fill the role that Connor has had for us the last few years.
Let's switch sides and go to the offensive side of the ball. You've got a couple guys back on the offensive line, which is always nice to have, especially when you have quarterbacks that are a little bit of a dual threat. They've shown the ability to run some, but you like to be back there in the passing as we've seen in the past. But it's some of the skill positions where you've graduated a lot of talent over the last couple of years. What do you see for your offense this season?
Right now the strength of our offense is the 3 guys we return. Our starting quarterback will be T.J. Tutoni. At center, Jay Padrone, and right tackle, Mike Zolfo, was one of our team captains. Mike's started the last 20 games for us, a right tackle, so he's going to really help solidify the offensive line. Now, we do play a lot of skill guys, just these guys haven't probably made the crucial plays in key situations like we've had in the past. Last year we needed a yard, we handed the ball to Mike Pitsenberg. We needed a pass thrown over the middle, we threw the ball to Alex Evans. We needed a deep ball thrown. We either threw it to Drew Ouellette or Tanner Keefe, and all those guys are gone. So I think the competition in camp is going to be intense, and we're going to find out who's going to be the playmakers on the offensive side of the ball in the next few weeks.
When we take a look at what type of style you want to run, we've seen heavy rushing styles in the past from Catholic teams. We've also seen some very pass-oriented styles. What is your plan for this year, just based on what you see? Obviously, that could change come the middle of the year when you see how the talent develops. But going into camp, what type of team do you want to see out there on the offensive side of the ball?
Inevitably, we'd love to be how we were last year. At the end of the year, we were like 211 yards rushing a game and 210 yards passing, and it's tough to find balance like that. But that was our strength. We had strength in the skilled spots, so that we knew we could run the ball well and throw the ball well. And this year, I would love to have that, but it might be different. And that's the one thing is, this team has to find its identity during camp, both on defense and on offense and special teams. So that's the big thing is that we have enough stuff in place where that if we're better at throwing it this year, we can lean on that, or if we're better at running it, we can lean on that. It's really just for us, it's for the first time in a while we got to find out what our identity is going to be.
When we take a look at a conference overview, I mean, you look at your record, it sits there 3-4 in the conference with 2 other teams that were also there at 3-4, but 6-0 overall, which means the games that you're playing out of conference, you're winning as well. So that was a 3-0 non-conference schedule for you. We also we talked about a little bit with one of the other coaches that Hampton-Sydney made a run in the NCAA tournament and showed that they could play with the people at the national level. And then when you look at it in conference, pretty much all the teams in the league played with Hampton-Sydney. So what does that say about the level of the league right now, about where we're coming and what kind of noise we can make on the national stage?
I think it's definitely one of the tougher conferences, in the country. There's no question. I mean, you just look at our conference year in and year out. The distance between the last place team and the first place team is very, very small. Last year Bridgewater, I think, got some first place votes, and I think they're picked to come in second and third in the league, and they came in last. And they had a talented roster. They had good players, and they're well coached. Things just didn't go their way for them. And that's how it is every year. I mean, there isn't a game that I think ever is going to be a blowout in this league. And we lost to Sydney by 12, beat Shenandoah by 30, and Shenandoah beat Sydney. So that can happen on any given week in our conference. That's what makes it such a great conference, and it's definitely top to bottom one of the toughest conferences in the entire country.
Well, Coach, I want to thank you for joining us today, and good luck this season.
Thank you.